Tonight, President Trump's newest plan for his immigration crackdown, paying migrants to leave. The new offer, $1,000 and a plane ticket to their home country. We have new fallout from Mr. Trump's interview with Kristen Welker and his new calls for reopening Alcatraz and putting a huge tariff on films made overseas. The panic tonight in Hollywood. Lost airplane contact. New details tonight on the brief air traffic control outage at Newark Airport last week. The aftermath causing hundreds more delays and cancellations today. Was it revenge? The man accused of running over a police deputy just days after his son was shot and killed by another police officer. That man's family speaking out tonight. Diddy trial begins. Jury selection now underway for the music mogul's trial. The list of celebrities jurors are being asked about. How will they play into the case? Kidnapping caught on camera. The surveillance from inside a Walmart, a woman alleging a man tried to kidnap her child. That man has now been jailed for weeks. But NBC News has obtained hours of video from inside the store. Why his lawyer says the footage shows a very different story. Yacht rocked, the luxury boat packed with influencers suddenly sinking. How the Coast Guard came to the rescue. And the most stylish night of the year. We're there with the biggest names and wildest fashions at tonight's Met Gala. Plus, breaking news from L.A. A man detained at Jennifer Aniston's home after a vehicle collided with her front gate. The details just coming into our newsroom. Top Story starts right now. Good evening. I'm Ellison Barber in for Tom Llamas. Tonight, President Trump announcing a new plan to crack down on undocumented immigrants. The move coming shortly after his exclusive sit-down with NBC's Kristen Welker, making news on everything from the economy to whether he would uphold the Constitution and pressed on if he would run for a third term in 2028. We'll speak with Kristen in just a moment, and we'll get into the president's new proposal today, a $1,000 stipend plus travel expenses to undocumented immigrants who self-deport from the country. The president also announcing plans to reopen and rebuild the notorious Alcatraz prison in San Francisco Bay. But right now, many Americans are still focused on their wallet as the president tries to shake off fears of a recession, blaming his predecessor for the, quote, bad parts of the economy and doubling down that the economy is in a transition phase as his trade war carries on. And could Hollywood be the next one to take a hit from tariffs? The president floating a 100% tariff on films made outside of the United States. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez starts off our coverage tonight.
Tonight, President Trump is ramping up his mass deportation effort. His administration now offering $1,000 stipends and travel assistance to undocumented immigrants who self-deport.
We're going to pay each one a certain amount of money, and we're going to get them a beautiful flight back to where they came from.
Cheaper, the Department of Homeland Security says, than the $17,000 it costs to detain and deport them. The president says if they leave voluntarily, they could potentially return legally.
Maybe someday, with a little work, they can come back in if they're good people.
The president also defending his crackdown on illegal immigration during an exclusive interview with NBC's Kristen Welker. While the vast majority of deported migrants have gone through the usual legal process, the president has used the Alien Enemies Act to deport a small number of alleged gang members. Critics say that has bypassed due process.
Your Secretary of State says everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Do you agree, Mr. President?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, the Fifth Amendment says.
I don't know. It seems it might say that, but if you're talking about that, then we'd have to have 1 million or 2 million or 3 million trials. We have thousands of people that are some murderers and some drug dealers and some of the worst people on earth. But some of the worst, most dangerous people on earth. And I was elected to get them the hell out of here, and the courts are holding me from doing it.
But even given those numbers that you're talking about, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work for me, and they are going to obviously follow what the Supreme Court said. What you said is not what I heard the Supreme Court said. They have a different interpretation.
The president also saying he'd reopen and expand California's infamous Alcatraz prison to hold violent criminals. It was shut down in 1963. Experts tell NBC News it's 2 to 3 times more expensive to house prisoners there.
Nobody's ever escaped from Alcatraz, and just represented something strong having to do with law and order. We need law and order in this country, and so we're going to look at it.
Meanwhile, the Treasury Secretary is teasing new trade deals soon.
Our goal with trade policy is to level the playing field for our great American workers.
And following his tariff rollout, the president is blaming his predecessor on the economy 3 months into his term.
I think the good parts are the Trump economy and the bad parts are the Biden economy, because he's done a terrible job. He did a terrible job on everything.
Gabe Gutierrez joins us now from the White House. Gabe, let's go back to the president's plan to possibly reopen the prison at Alcatraz. What are critics saying about that?
Well, Allison, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who represents the area, says the proposal is not a serious one. Back in the 60s, Alcatraz was shut down because it was nearly 3 times more expensive to operate than any other federal prison. Even in its heyday, it only held 300 inmates. But the White House insists reopening it would be symbolic. The Bureau of Prisons is now looking into it. Allison?
Gabe Gutierrez, thank you. And joining us now from Washington, D.C., fresh off her exclusive interview with President Trump, is NBC's Kristen Welker, moderator of Meet the Press. Kristen, thank you so much for joining us. Let's begin with that part of your interview Gabe included in his report. President Trump saying he does not know if he has to uphold the Constitution with respect to his immigration crackdown. The president today facing a lot of criticism for those remarks.
Allison, you're absolutely right. He is. In fact, I just had the opportunity to interview Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, who said, look, upholding the Constitution is fundamental to being president of the United States. So Democrats are already pouncing. Republicans are defending the president and saying, look, this is a key part of what he campaigned on. I interviewed Congressman Byron Donalds. That's the argument that he made. But zooming out, Allison, this clash with the courts that we're seeing between the Trump administration and the courts really is one of the defining factors of this second administration, particularly as it relates to his border policies. Now, look, some Democrats, Allison, are already saying that the country is headed toward a constitutional crisis. How does the public view this? So far, the president's poll numbers as it relates to his handling of the border holding steady. So unlike the economy, where we're seeing his poll numbers drop, his handling of the border holding steady. But will that continue? This answer undoubtedly will continue to get scrutiny, Allison.
You and the president also discussed the possibility that he attempts to run for a third term in 2028. As of about an hour ago, when I checked at the Trump store, Trump 2028 T-shirts, hats, and koozies still available for purchase. Trump and his allies have talked about this possibility repeatedly. But let's listen to what he had to say when you interviewed him, and then we'll talk right after. Are you seriously considering a third term, Mr. President, even though it's prohibited by the Constitution? Or is this about staying politically viable?
I will say this. So many people want me to do it. I have never had requests so strong as that. But it's something that, to the best of my knowledge, you're not allowed to do. I don't know if that's constitutional that they're not allowing you to do it or anything else, but there are many people selling the 2028 hat. But this is not something I'm looking to do.
Kristen, when I heard that exchange, my ears sort of perked up in the moment, because I was like, that's a new answer. And it is so different than what President Trump told you in a phone interview you had with him a couple of weeks ago. What stood out to you about that exchange?
I think you hit the nail on the head. When I spoke with him a couple of weeks ago, President Trump seemed to lean into the idea that he would potentially consider looking at the various possibilities for running for a third term, even though it's prohibited by the Constitution. So you think of trying to get a constitutional amendment. In this latest exchange, this was his most definitive answer yet, Ellison, that he is not seriously considering running for a third term. I asked him, so who are you looking at as a possible successor? Here's where it got really interesting. He, of course, mentioned his Vice President, J.D. Vance, but he also mentioned Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who he also just tapped to serve as National Security Advisor. It's a clear sign that, at least right now, Secretary Rubio is rising in Trump's orbit. We know that that could always shift around. The dynamics frequently change inside of that orbit, but it is quite notable, and that's something that is sparking a lot of conversation. Ellison.
Really eye-opening reporting. Kristen Welker, thank you. Our other major headline, the crisis unfolding at Newark International Airport at this hour. NBC News learning new details tonight about how a frightening incident last week when air traffic control lost contact with at least one flight in the air. The incident setting off days of flight delays at the major travel hub as it deals with a shortage of air traffic controllers. NBC's Maya Eaglin is at the airport for us tonight. Maya, what is the scene like there, and what more do we know about why the tower lost contact with those flights?
Yeah, Ellison, it's been another chaotic day of travel here at Newark. We're hearing from the FAA that they are aware of all these issues. They're trying to work with both federal and local officials to try and find a solution to ease these issues for travelers. Now, we did get some clarification. We're hearing that one of the control towers that's responsible for this airspace lost complete control with an aircraft due to an equipment failure. And so some of those staff workers are actually on leave due to a traumatic event. Again, really adding to the stress here of an already low staffed situation. Ellison?
And Maya, we understand the governor of New Jersey is now appealing directly to the Trump administration to try and sort this out. What exactly are they wanting here?
Yeah, so Governor Murphy sent out a letter basically asking for the Trump administration to prioritize Newark. They're asking for investments in equipment to get new technology and systems up and running here. So much of the criticism here has been to the old and aging, failing equipment that has been causing so many of these delays. They're asking the Trump administration to hire more federally trained controllers, and that takes a really long time to put these folks in those positions because it takes years to train them on this job. Ellison?
NBC's Maya Eaglin, thank you. Now to the emotionally charged moments in Cincinnati. A family is speaking out for the very first time after their 18-year-old son was shot and killed by police. The father of that man in jail tonight after fatally hitting a different police officer with his car. So was that hit an act of revenge? NBC Shaquille Brewster is covering it all for us.
Tonight across Ohio, flags at half-staff in honor of fallen Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson.
He was so well-liked and so well-known. We could fill this building with the law enforcement agencies that respect him, love him.
The recently retired 33-year veteran was working traffic patrol Friday afternoon.
I've got an officer now.
When police say he was intentionally struck by the father of a teen fatally shot the day before by an officer from a different department. Henderson later dying at the hospital.
There is a connection between these two incidents.
38-year-old Rodney Hinton Jr. is now behind bars and charged with aggravated murder. Court documents say the defendant drove across oncoming lanes of traffic through the intersection and directly at the deputy, who is wearing a fluorescent vest.
There are no evidence of skid marks. There are no evidence that he tried to avoid him.
In court, Hinton's public defender calling this an emotionally charged situation. The crash happening less than 3 hours after his family says Hinton met with Cincinnati police to review body camera videos showing the shooting of his 18-year-old son, Ryan Hinton. The videos, now publicly released, show Hinton running and being shot by city police. Cincinnati police say the teen was armed and pointed a gun toward an officer who was responding to a call of a stolen vehicle.
He's got a gun! He's got a gun! On your right! On your right!
Hinton was shot about 6 seconds after officers get out of their vehicles.
He wasn't supposed to be there. He wasn't. He was scared. He tripped and fell. He must have been so scared. I'm so sorry, Ryan.
We are very close family. This is killing us.
Tonight, the teen's family speaking out with their family attorneys who say they're investigating the shooting.
I'm angry because it shouldn't have never happened. I want to find out exactly what steps was taken and the protocol.
While also offering their condolences to the deputy they say was tragically killed.
In that statement, you made a point to notice and acknowledge the pain that the family of the fallen deputy is feeling as well. What was in your heart when you did that? Why did you find the need?
I was crying about what happened to the innocent officer, so that's all it's all about. It's all about healing each other.
And Shaquille Brewster joins us now from Cincinnati, Ohio. Shaq, the father in this case, Rodney Hinton Jr., is expected back in court tomorrow.
That's right, Ellison. We expect to see that suspect back in court tomorrow morning for a bond hearing. The state is essentially asking that he be held behind bars until his trial. We should note he has not entered into any plea just yet, and we're not expecting that to take place tomorrow. By the way, the funeral arrangements for neither his son nor the deputy that he's accused of killing have been set yet, though we're expecting that deputy's funeral to take place later this week, Ellison.
Shaq Brewster, thank you. We are following breaking news out of Los Angeles, where a man has been detained outside of the home of actress Jennifer Aniston. That is according to a law enforcement source who is familiar with the incident. For the developing details, let's get right to NBC's Camila Bernal in Los Angeles. Camila, what more do we know at this point?
Hey, Ellison, it's really preliminary information. And as you mentioned, we know because of sources that there is this man that was detained by police. This was outside her Bel Air home here in the LA area. And it's unclear whether this is a man that was known to authorities or known to Jennifer Aniston. But we do know that he crashed into the front gates of her home. Again, we're asking sources whether this is just a car crash or if this was an attempted robbery or, say, a stalker, perhaps. But we are working to get that information. And authorities just saying that this was a middle-aged white man that was detained outside her home. She was home at the time of this incident, but we do know that she is okay right now. So again, we're just working to learn more in terms of what exactly happened. But thankfully, we can say she is okay.
All right, Camila Bernal on that breaking, developing news. Thank you. We appreciate it. And we are back in a moment with the major celebrities mentioned during the jury selection ahead of Diddy's trial. Will they play a part in the case against him? Plus, outrage over anti-Semitism. He owns one of the country's most popular sports websites. How Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports is punishing employees for an offensive sign. And influencers in the wild, the multi-million-dollar yacht packed with social media stars. What happened when it began to sink? We're back with jury selection getting underway today in Sean Diddy Combs' federal trial. In the downtown Manhattan courtroom, several dozen prospective jurors presented with a description of the charges against the hip-hop entrepreneur, including sex trafficking and racketeering. Combs has pleaded not guilty. We're joined now from outside that courthouse by NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Melas, and here in studio by NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos. Chloe, let's start with you. You were in the courthouse today. Talk to us about the atmosphere in the courtroom, and in terms of the defendant Diddy, what was his demeanor like?
So at one point, Sean Combs, after he had entered the courtroom and jury selection was underway, Ellison, he actually asked the judge for a bathroom break, and he even said, "I'm a little nervous today." And that's understandable. I mean, he faces up to life behind bars if convicted on all of these charges. Now, no jurors were picked today. 19 are going to come back at a later date, and they're going to continue this process all over again tomorrow. And Combs' defense team, they have an uphill battle because they're trying to find an impartial jury of people that don't know much about Combs and this case.
Danny, let's bring you in here to talk a little more about that. 19 are going to come back. Ultimately, how big will this jury pool be? And look, when we're talking about Diddy Combs, there have been a lot of allegations of sexual assault and harassment against him. Many of those we've seen play out in civil court. When we're talking about this federal trial, what he is specifically charged with is 2 counts of sex trafficking, 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, and 1 count of racketeering. But given how many times his name has been in the headline of late, how does the defense, how do prosecutors go about finding a truly impartial juror?
Well, first, this is the Southern District of New York. This is not some backwater. We're not in Cheyenne, Wyoming. This is a courthouse that has a high-profile trial every week, and often more than one going on at the same time. We're constantly down there. Menendez, both Menendezes, everybody comes through either the Southern District or down there in state court at Center Street. So judges are used to this. In the federal system, it's a little more efficient than in state court in New York. The judge mostly runs the show, and there is a challenge in seating jurors. But I believe Judge Subramanian when he says that he thinks he can seat a jury within 3 or so days. I think he joked today that it would be like a Lord of the Rings epic saga. But, I mean, really, 3 days is not that bad. And I keep coming back to this. A couple of years ago, a New York State trial court picked a jury in a criminal trial against Donald Trump, who's arguably the most famous or infamous human in human history. So if they can pick a jury in that case, federal court can pick a jury in this one.
Chloe, there were several high-profile celebrities mentioned in the course of jury selection today. To name a few, Michael B. Jordan, Kanye West, Mike Myers, Kid Cudi. None of those people have been implicated in any wrongdoing. Talk to us about that. Why were they brought up?
It's very unclear the context of why Ellison. So these names and also some places, there was like 100 more itemized lists that prospective jurors had a chance to look over. And this was given to them because these names and these places might be mentioned when the trial is going on. But like you said, we don't know the context, if at all, and why these individuals would be mentioned. But social media, they're having a field day with all of this because there's been so much speculation as to the celebrity power dynamic here and what celebrities you might see take the stand.
Danny, ping-ponging off of that, do you think we're going to hear more names of celebrities that maybe we weren't expecting to hear about in this case? And help us be kind of in your legal brain. What should we look out for in the days and weeks ahead?
So what happened today is the court has to introduce not only the lawyers, not only the litigants, but anybody who might potentially be a witness. And you err on the side of over-inclusion. And the reason for that is if you forget somebody and then you want to call that person as a witness, and then two of your jurors say, oh, I know this person, or this is my uncle, or I have all kinds of preconceived notions about this particular witness, especially in a high-profile case. In most trials, you go through the witnesses, they're a bunch of anonymous people no one's ever heard of. But here, that's going to be a story. So even someone who's on the outside maybe won't even get called. The prosecution and the defense have to name them. And if you're the defense, you throw a few names in there just to keep the prosecution on their feet. But you got to announce them at the outset of the jury trial and figure out if any of the jurors have any preconceived notions. So no surprise you hear a lot of names. Doesn't necessarily mean every single one of those names will come in, raise their hand, take the oath, and testify.
NBC's Danny Savalos, Chloe Malas, thank you both. We appreciate it. We're back with Top Stories news feed. The Baltimore Ravens announcing tonight that they are releasing longtime kicker Justin Tucker. The decision there coming amid an investigation by the NFL into multiple allegations of inappropriate behavior during massage therapy sessions. Tucker has denied any misconduct. He has been with the Ravens since 2012 and is considered one of the best kickers in the NFL. The team calling this a, quote, football decision. 2 children hospitalized after their school bus crashed into a home in Virginia. It happened this morning about 30 minutes from Richmond. You can see the bus on the front lawn. There's some damage to the house. Police saying 4 children and the bus driver were on board. It is unclear if anyone was in the house. The investigation is ongoing, but police say weather might have been a factor. And firefighters in Kentucky rushing to the rescue using a rope system to save the driver of a semi-truck dangling from an overpass. Here he is after being pulled out by a Louisville fire rescuer. Officials there say the whole operation took about 30 minutes. It happened yesterday morning. Police say they believe the driver lost control and hit the rail of the bridge. Firefighters described the driver as being in good spirits when they were pulling him out. No other injuries were reported. An Olympic swimmer, Gary Hall Jr., receiving replicas of his 10 medals lost in the Los Angeles wildfires. They were ultimately presented to him today at the International Olympic Committee headquarters in Switzerland. Hall winning 5 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronze medals swimming for Team USA in the 1996, 2000, and 2004 Olympics. Hall said, quote, "I will do a better job at taking care of these." Controversy is boiling over after a video went viral at a Barstool sports bar in Philadelphia showing people partying and holding an anti-Semitic sign. Barstool founder Dave Portnoy, who is Jewish, speaking out tonight about the incident and those involved. NBC's Sam Brock has this report.
In videos that have already garnered tens of millions of views.
There was a sign yesterday that said, "F the Jews." I've been shaking. I've been so mad.
Barstool sports founder Dave Portnoy voicing outrage over an anti-Semitic sign he says was ordered in his Philadelphia bar and then posted onto social media.
Maybe it wouldn't have shocked me as much if I didn't see it in a bar that I owned. But yeah, the uptick in anti-Semitism has been noticeable.
Did they apologize to you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were doing what I would say anybody would do. We're not anti-Semitic. It was a joke. But at this point, you're caught red-handed.
Some who were there shocked by what they saw.
I was out and I seen it and it said that sign and I was just like, whoa, it threw everybody off guard.
Portnoy, who's Jewish, says both waitresses who served the group were fired. With Temple University immediately taking action, the president saying in a statement, in the strongest terms possible, let me be clear, anti-Semitism is abhorrent. It has no place at Temple. The university has placed one student on interim suspension with a police investigation ongoing, as some Jewish students on campus express their concern.
It kind of feels, like I have to watch my back all the time just for wearing my star out. And it's not a good feeling.
Meanwhile, Portnoy pushing for accountability.
Let's try to turn a hideous incident into maybe a learning experience.
And says those responsible had initially agreed to his offer to send them to Auschwitz in Poland, where roughly 1 million Jews were killed during the Holocaust. But then late today, Portnoy says one of them walked it back.
And he's like, well, I had nothing to do with it. I felt pressured into admitting that I had anything to do with it.
Adding the trip for that individual now off the table.
And Sam Brock joins us now from Philadelphia. So, Sam, what else do we know about a university connection here?
So, Ellison, Portnoy tells me he's positive that the two people he identified as at the center of this situation are both Temple University students. Temple so far has only confirmed the one. They said if there are additional students that are involved in what happened, they could be facing expulsion. But so far, the university has shed no light specifically on that situation. Ellison?
Sam Brock, thank you. In Georgia tonight, a 57-year-old man has been held behind bars without bond for over 6 weeks after he allegedly tried to kidnap a toddler at a Walmart. We have new video of the moments that mother alleges he tried to take her child that some say paints a very different picture. NBC's Priya Shrithar reports from outside Atlanta.
I was in the Walmart and I had to rip my baby out of some other man's hands because he was trying to snatch him.
This dramatic 911 call detailing what sounds like every parent's worst nightmare.
It all happened so fast and he was out of the store.
It allegedly happened here at this Walmart outside Atlanta. This security footage shows a woman identified in a police report as 26-year-old Caroline Miller on a mobility scooter with her 2 kids when a man approached. But what happens next is at the center of a kidnapping case that has drawn international attention. Miller told police that an Indian man approached her and grabbed her 2-year-old son and pulled him away. Miller did not return NBC's request for comment, but detailed the alleged struggle to local station Atlanta News First.
And I'm like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I got him back, and then he just stared at me and then goes, oh, I just wanted to get him out of your lap so you could get up and help me, which was weird. That didn't make any sense. And then he just walked off.
That man was eventually identified as 56-year-old Mahendra Mik Patel, a real estate investor, retired engineer, husband, and father of 2. Police arrested him and charged him with kidnapping of a minor, assault, and battery. He's been in jail now for nearly 6 weeks. But now Miller's account is very much in dispute.
When I finally got the video, I was upset that Mr. Patel was still in jail.
Patel's attorney, Ashley Merchant, says the evidence in this case shows something very different.
Walk me through what that video showed when you finally were able to see it.
I see the video and I'm like, how has this happened? How was he even arrested?
Merchant provided NBC News with over 9 hours of surveillance video from various cameras inside that Walmart. In the video, you can see Patel approach Miller. According to the police report, Miller says Patel asked her where the Tylenol was. Merchant says that as Miller stands up to point to where the Tylenol was, her 2-year-old son slips from her lap. Patel says he tried to help stabilize the toddler. Miller alleged something different in that 911 call.
I was in the Walmart and I had to rip my baby out of some other man's hands because he was trying to snatch him.
After that, the video shows Patel walking off, and he's later seen approaching Miller one more time to show her that he found the Tylenol. She appears to give him a thumbs up.
I'm surprised that she would describe it as someone trying to take her child because it's so obvious that it wasn't.
Now, almost 45,000 people have signed a Change.org petition calling for justice for Patel.
And what was his original reaction when he got arrested? Because he probably did not see that coming at all.
He was shocked. He could not believe it.
angry.
Hasmukh Patel has been friends with Mahendra Patel for almost 40 years. He's been talking to him on the phone every day from jail.
He cannot believe it that he's in for the things that he did not commit.
The Acworth Police Department did not respond to NBC's request for an interview, but we went to the Cobb County District Attorney's office and a spokesperson told us there's a lot more to the story, but because it's a pending investigation, we can't comment. For now, Merchant and Patel's friend says he's angry but is willing to fight these charges until he can clear his name.
I mean, imagine being in jail knowing you didn't do something and then having a video that shows you didn't do anything, but hearing that your government is still going to keep you in jail. I mean, that's very disheartening.
And NBC's Priya Sridhar joins us now from outside the detention center where Patel is being held. Priya, I understand Patel will have his first court appearance tomorrow. What are we expecting to happen there?
Hey, Ellison, that's right. Yeah, so I think everyone's sort of looking for what potentially the Acworth Police Department or the Cobb County's district attorney could say about this case. We haven't heard from them since that initial arrest took place more than 6 weeks ago, and certainly not since this surveillance video has been widely distributed across this area. Of course, numerous media outlets have tried to ask them if they could potentially drop the charges or lessen the charges based on this surveillance video, but they have not responded. Of course, today they seem to indicate that there's more to the story. So I think everyone's going to be anxiously awaiting to see what could potentially come out in court tomorrow as far as that goes. Ellison?
Priya Sridhar reporting in Georgia. Thank you. Top Stories Global Watch begins in the Middle East tonight, where Israel approved a plan to seize all of the Gaza Strip. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calling it an intensive military operation and saying Palestinian civilians will be moved to the south. He says the goal is to defeat Hamas. Right now, Gaza is under the longest blockade of humanitarian aid since the war began. A senior Israeli security official says once this operation begins, a plan to get aid in will be implemented. And in southwest China, at least 10 people are dead after a tourist boat capsized. Video showing rescue teams searching for survivors in a river. State media reporting strong winds from a sudden storm capsized 4 boats in a popular tourist area. 84 people in all were thrown into the water. 70 went to the hospital with injuries. And new details from the survivors of a Bolivian plane that crash landed in the Amazon rainforest just last week. The video showing the 5 survivors standing on their flooded Cessna plane awaiting rescue. They say it took 36 hours before help arrived. The pilot saying he was forced to make an emergency landing after facing technical problems minutes after departure. He said the survivors spent 2 nights surrounded by mosquitoes, lizards, and caimans on a swampy shoreline. He said they also saw an anaconda in the water and that he thinks gas that was leaking from the plane helped keep predators away. When Top Story returns, from selfies to sinking, the luxury yacht packed with social media influencers that began to take on water, how dozens were rescued. And fashion's biggest night, all the red carpet arrivals from tonight's Met Gala, plus who just used the event as a pregnancy reveal. We are back now with the stunning scene in Miami this weekend. A multi-million-dollar yacht apparently packed with influencers sinking off the coast of Miami Beach. The Coast Guard, as well as nearby ships, rushing in to save the stranded passengers and their most prized possessions. NBC's Jesse Kirsch has this one.
One moment, this was what appeared to be a classic Miami pleasure cruise. A luxurious boat deck packed just off the coast of Miami Beach. But the weekend joyride in Florida's Biscayne Bay quickly turned into a dangerous situation.
Vessel taking on water.
What appears to be a 63-foot-long Lamborghini yacht started to sink. The surreal scene captured on camera from multiple angles.
Could you imagine? Dude, no way.
The U.S. Coast Guard says 32 people were rescued. You can see some stranded boaters wearing life jackets. Nearby vessels and emergency responders swarming within minutes, helping passengers to safety.
We were able to get on scene and thankfully get all these people, these 32 individuals, off this vessel taking on water and with no medical concerns reported.
Some managing to save what looked like high-value goods, including possibly a Louis Vuitton patterned purse and a laptop.
Well, you brought your computer?
Some even poking fun as the ordeal unfolded. Iceberg! The Coast Guard says the incident happened near Monument Island, a small strip of land between mainland Miami and Miami Beach, the area popular for ritzy yachting and near the exclusive Star Island, home to sprawling estates owned by the likes of Jennifer Lopez. The cause of the incident still unclear, but the Coast Guard confirms the yacht has been prevented from fully sinking.
We were able to put airbags on it and remove it from the channel so it would not be a hazard to navigation.
Whether that multi-million-dollar boat will ever sail again, also unclear, as the Coast Guard says its owner is still working with commercial salvage to determine what to do next.
And Jesse Kirsch joins us now from Miami. Kind of wild, Jesse, to see people laughing while the Coast Guard is trying to rescue them. In your report, you mentioned there were 32 people rescued from that boat. Is that how many were on it? And it seems like that is a lot just for the size of that boat. Do we know if this was overcrowded?
Yeah, Ellison, there have been some reports leading to some questions around the capacity of this boat. We have reached out to authorities on this to find out what the official maximum capacity of that boat should be, but we have not yet heard back from the lead investigative agency on this. Ellison.
NBC's Jesse Kirsch reporting from Miami. Thank you. When we return, we take you to the star-studded red carpet of the Met Gala. The celebrities decked out for this year's theme, so who wore it best? We are back now with a look at the 2025 Met Gala, where right now the celebs are hitting the red carpet, or should we say the blue carpet. It's happening at New York's Metropolitan Museum. Well, it's ultimately a fundraiser for the Met. It has transformed into one of the biggest nights of fashion and celebrity of the year. This year's theme is super fine tailoring Black style, and will showcase how fashion and style are connected to Black identity and experience. The event itself is hosted every year by Anna Wintour, the editor-in-chief of Vogue. And this year, she's joined by a star-studded list of co-hosts: actor Coleman Domingo, F1 race car driver Lewis Hamilton, rapper A$AP Rocky, singer and producer Pharrell Williams, and honorary chair LeBron James, who actually won't be there tonight because of a knee injury. Joining us now to talk all things Met Gala is fashion consultant and celebrity stylist Tiffany Reed. Tiffany, let's start with this theme. I mean, I know you've been watching this kind of minute by minute. Take us through what you're seeing, and for people who maybe missed it, what does this theme mean this year, and why is it so important?
Yeah, I think it's so important because Black dandyism and superfine tailoring, which is the book by Monica Miller, they did a preview earlier today, and they really gave some great speeches about the significance of the red carpet and how designers are showing up to really show support for the community. It's about self-expression, it's about fighting against oppression, and really about, never about extravagance and overdoing it, but really about making a statement and being able to express yourself. So I think it's really important that we were able to do that and bring some great designers and celebrities there.
So what looks so far have really stood out to you? We're getting some little glimpses on the side of the screen there, but what has caught your eye, and anyone that you think will really stay with you that you've seen thus far?
Yeah, so it's about tailoring, right? So I think some of the ones that were standout are, I think, Tiana Taylor. She started it with the Marc Jacobs custom and in collaboration with Ruth Carter. Ruth Carter is an amazing costume designer who's worked really closely on some historical Black films that really have created the culture. So I think leading with that as a red carpet was really amazing. And then just to get into some of them on that are on the chair, Coleman Domingo is wearing Valentino, Pharrell's in Vuitton. I mean, those looks are really strong. And what I love is that women on the red carpet are really bracing the suiting and the tailoring. So it's, you know, it's expected for the men, but I think so many suiting on the women is really great and just new interpretations of it.
Talk to us a little more about how this actually works. Like, take us behind the scenes, because we mentioned LeBron James is technically a co-host. He's not there. Tickets are notoriously just beyond what most of us can imagine paying for. But how does this process actually work every year?
So it's a fundraiser, right? I think the most important thing is to bring the attention to the Costume Institute, which Monica Miller, who wrote the book in 2009, Slaves to Fashion, she's curating it with the head Costume Institute curator, Andrew Bolton. So it's about fundraising for that and bringing awareness. This year, they've did record-breaking numbers, 31 million, which is the highest number that they've been able to fundraise runways in their 70 plus years, which is really amazing. So once the carpet goes and everyone gives their critique of the fashion, then you go inside and that's when the party starts, right? There's a dinner, there's always a surprise special performance. And then we're going to be seeing in New York City, everybody's out on the town tonight because there's so many after parties. It's really a star-studded event, and especially for New York City, it's fashion's biggest night. So celebrities are, and really the A-listers who are there are collaborating with designers, and they're having these really exclusive parties, sort of like if you know, throughout the city. So beyond the red carpet or beyond the Met Gala carpet, you're going to see them out partying tonight. And there's always second looks that I think are noteworthy. So in the morning, we'll be seeing some more looks to gossip about.
Which we sort of saw like pre-looks with Doechii, right, on social media, where she was recreating some stuff that Andre had worn in the past and posed for. Talk to us about kind of the rumor that I'm hearing that Rihanna is maybe there and maybe very clearly pregnant. What is happening? Is Rihanna having another baby?
Yes, she was out there with the bump. I mean, I'm not confirming it, but I saw what I saw. But I think it was also really interesting because it really started this weekend. There was a really beautiful hair show, Black Hair Reimagined, and that was Friday. And then there was a bomb party on Saturday. And then on Monday, now we're seeing like them getting ready at the hotel, and we see Rihanna with her bump, and there's all these exclusives dropping and dwindling into when we get to the Met, and then afterwards there's these after parties. So it's really a week-long celebration now that this has blown up into.
Okay, I'm told I'm supposed to ask you about Stevie Wonder.
Oh, I know. Stevie Wonder's supposed to be coming. Is he?
Oh, he's okay. Yes.
We've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for that. So I think it's great that icons are there, right? Diana Ross had an amazing outfit on. And one of her sons helped curate the outfit for her. And she had her family tree, basically names were embroidered on it. So we're seeing like the youth coming in, like Doechii. I'm sure Tyla will be there. Zendaya's on the carpet. She's in a really amazing look. And then we're also seeing Diana Ross and Stevie Wonder and all of these legacy namesake celebrities. So it's really, I think, a great collaboration.
Before we let you go, who are we still waiting for? And for you, is there someone that has not made their official appearance yet that you're like, that's who I'm really honing in on?
So we saw Rihanna in the Miu Miu look at the hotel getting ready, but we did not see her look, although we did see A$AP Rocky, who came in his brand. So we did see him a little bit earlier, but she has not showed up yet, and that is who I'm waiting to see.
Okay, because sometimes there's like more that happens once they get to the red carpet, right? Like we've seen...
Yeah, I mean, Coleman Domingo first had a cape, which was the Andre Leon Talley, like sort of honoring him, and then he revealed the cape. So even on the carpet, there's throwing out layers, like there's after party look. So really it's like I said, fashion's biggest night out. You never know what you're going to get.
Do you think this will set the tone for sort of big fashion looks we see moving forward for the next year or two, a resurgence of some of these tailored looks?
I think some of the over-exaggerated, over-the-top pieces is like sort of what we need. You know, whenever there's some stressful time, I think fashion always steps up and really gives you some escapism. And that's what I think the whole reason what dandyism is. It's like fighting against the oppression, being able to self-express, really able to self-express and really be able to show off, you know, who you are.
Tiffany Reed, thank you so much for being here, and you look fabulous. We appreciate your time and insights. And thank you at home so much for watching Top Story. I'm Allison Barber in New York for Tom Llamas. Stay right there. More news is on the way.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.